Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Shibineru here. It's been a while since we filmed anything, let alone streamed anything, and I'm just making this video out there just to let you know that the channel is not going away. It's going to stay alive because I've been kind of motivated in the last little while to continue this YouTube journey and to continue to try and improve it. Even though I don't really have a lot of free time to do that, I still feel that I'd want to improve it and try and get a little bit more of a regular posting thing going. So, well, what's been going on with me? Well, for starters, this channel is mostly gaming related. But I had a big gaming change lately. I signed up for Steam in the beginning of the year, and I've been loving it so far because I've been playing the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. And obviously the physical release of the Pixel remaster back in December with the 3-hour window kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, because at the end of the day I did secure a limited edition version for the Switch, but it's kind of like $250, and then when you add exchange rates and shipping on top of that and plus duty, that's probably going to be $500, which is just ridiculous in my opinion. So I canceled that pre-order, let alone I haven't been playing my PS5 very much, so I ended up selling it to a friend and literally like trading in all of my PS4 and PS5 games, because a lot of those games are available on Steam. And even though right now I'm only playing the Pixel remasters because my computer is decent enough to handle it, but I know I'm in the future going to upgrade to a gaming PC. So I see a lot of people actually selling their PS5s, realizing that this stuff eventually is going to come to PC/Steam, so why do I need to bother with having the PS5, because or the Xbox for that matter, because a PC master race is always better, graphic wise anyway, if you have the decent amount of money to spend, and it's not as hard to get as a PS5 or an Xbox One, even though right now they're readily available. But I still like my consoles, I still like my Switch, I still invest in the Switch, but I'm not really going to invest in the PlayStation brand anymore. At least not PS4, PS5 bound. Xbox I might. It just depends on what they have available coming out in the future. But this video is what some of YouTube creators call a pickups video or a spoils video. Or me booty. That's what this is. Because Riley and I went to, when I actually traded in my PS4, PS5 stuff, I made Instagram posts about that, but I figured I want to share what I picked up, let alone what's come in, in the last little while. And because we didn't do any videos technically for January, and February is already coming to a close, I decided to combine those two things. And I'm actually going to make these kinds of videos, like spoils or booty videos, also for anime stuff and also for other things, but this is a gaming one. So let's delve right into what came in. Some of these I might have done unboxing videos for too, or not, but they will all be displayed here. So first off, in the new year, eventually I got the remainder of the strictly limited pre-orders that I got, mainly the cotton stuff. So we got Panorama Cotton, and I know I said in the video I think it was a Super Nintendo game, but I was actually wrong. Panorama Cotton was actually available on the Mega Drive in Japan, which is the Sega Genesis. So this is the re-release, Switch version of it, and this one is obviously the limited edition and comes with a lot of extra other stuff, including obviously the teacup that comes with every strictly limited release. And then of course there was also the last one that I got from Strictly Limited, which is Cotton on 100%, which is right here. And this one is the Super Nintendo one. This one is the Super Fountain, which was available originally on the Super Famicom, and of course that one too comes with a tea bag. No, it comes with, you know, the corresponding teacup. I did not do a unboxing for this. I did for Panorama, but I was kind of a little bit burnt out on those. But those are the remainder of the strictly limited releases that I received. So there's no more strictly limited stuff coming in. At least nothing that piques my interest at the moment. So, but I did that trade-in for the PS5 games and the PS4 stuff. Mostly PS4, I think. But I had some PS5 stuff. And I still have some PS5 stuff coming in that I pre-ordered from Limited Run that, you know I'm not going to play because I don't have PS5. So I'm going to probably trade those in for stuff that I really want, that I know I want, and that I'll play. But anyway, with this Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster thing, I've kind of been on a retro kick right now. I've actually been playing through all of the old games, and I'm currently in the middle of Final Fantasy V right now. But that led me to question, when the games originally came out back in the early 1990s, Final Fantasy, we got two of them. We got Final Fantasy II, which is really Final Fantasy IV, and we got Final Fantasy III, which is Final Fantasy VI, but we never got Final Fantasy V. And you can buy Final Fantasy V, you know, via imports in Super Famicom. It's actually quite inexpensive, but it wasn't until, you know, Final Fantasy Anthology came out in 1999 for the PS1 that we got to play Final Fantasy V for the first time. But obviously there's repos out there, and there's people, homebrews if you will, and I will eventually make a video dedicated to reproductions and homebrews and stuff like that, and just some cool stuff I found, you know, in stores that I bought or conventions I've attended. But here are some of the trade-ins I got. So this here is a repo of Final Fantasy II, which is actually Final Fantasy IV. So this is Final Fantasy IV, and obviously everybody can make their own repro if they know how have the knowledge base too. But this is it is the same game, well, only with the correct, you know, numbering. So we got Final Fantasy IV. Picked up obviously Final Fantasy V. So there's Final Fantasy V. And then we hold the one that everyone seems to really love, Final Fantasy VI. Now, have I noticed any differences, like playing these as opposed to the Super Nintendo ones? Well, specifically 2 and 3. Not maybe some of the dialogue is a little bit different, but the feeling is still there. Like, it still has the same battle system. The mechanics, the game mechanics are more or less still the same. So I'm not too worried about that. It did take a little bit of time to get them to boot up. Obviously, the myth about it not making the Kinect blowing in the cartridge to get it to work. So I got those to work. Then, of course, I picked up this, which is the Magical Quest starring Mickey Mouse. I played this way back in the day in the 1990s. Really, really solid action platformer. If you get a chance to play this one, it's definitely worth your time. I picked that up for not too much. It's pretty good. Obviously, with Xbox, the one thing I was interested in was Perfect Dark, because, you know, Microsoft acquired Rare in 2002 and then released Perfect Dark Zero on the Xbox 360 as a launch title, but there's supposed to be a new one coming with the Xbox Series X, but we haven't seen much other than a teaser trailer of it. But I figured why not look for the first one, even though you can get the first one as a part of Rare Replay on Xbox One, but here it is. So I picked up Perfect Dark, which is, this is the original game, and it does come with the manual and all that jazz. And something that I've been meaning to complete or play through are the Mortal Kombat series of games, and the last one I picked up was Gold, which is a special edition of 4. And the reason why I picked up Gold for the Dreamcast, it was a console exclusive, was because it had the specific characters exclusive to it, namely my favorite, which is Katana, and I think a few others. Katana in particular, that's why I picked that up. But obviously the next series, a game in the series was Deadly Alliance, and seeing as how I am on a boycott of Sony, I was not going to pick up that for the PlayStation 2. And the Xbox I wanted to keep specifically for exclusive. So I picked up both Deadly Alliance for the Nintendo GameCube and Deception, which is technically this is Mortal Kombat 5 and Mortal Kombat 6. I have not picked up the side game, which is Shaolin Monks, but I probably will pick that up some point down the next gaming expo or whatnot. I'll see if I can pick up the Xbox version of that, because I'm not going to get the PlayStation version. In my opinion, I like PlayStation 1, 2, and 3, and then 4 and 5. Ever since Jim Ryan took over, I have not been a fan of the Sony brand, especially this generation, the Sony PS5. Now, that doesn't mean I'm not interested in stuff that's coming out for the system, but I'm not going to re-buy the system, like, you know, for Final Fantasy 16 or Final Fantasy Rebirth, which is the second part in the remake series, because lo and behold, the first part, which is the Integrate with the Yuffie DLC, is on Steam. So if that's going to go on Steam, eventually I'm pretty sure that the second part and third part is going to be on Steam too. You just won't be able to play it at launch, because this whole console exclusivity thing, or a timed console exclusive if you will, that they're doing, and I'm not really a big fan of the whole exclusivity thing, specifically with Sony, because most of Sony's exclusives I honestly don't have an interest in. Like, maybe Horizon interests me a bit, but again, that I can get on Steam. I can get the first one on Steam, and you know, I'm so far behind with my backlog. You know, I'd rather play the first one first through, and then by that time, Forbidden West might be on on Steam. And as you see, like, Spider-Man is a great game. I like Spider-Man, and I really enjoyed what little I did play of it. But that's on Steam. Miles Morales is on Steam. Who's to say that Spider-Man 2 and the Wolverine game won't be on Steam as well, you know, down the road in the future. So that was what I got with trade-ins. But then, obviously, you know, with the whole, I've been using my Nintendo Switch controller, my Pro controller, primarily with the Pixel remasters. So I needed a controller for my Switch, like another Pro controller. And I tried to get this one to work with the PC, and it does work. It's just, it seems to recognize it as an Xbox 360 controller, but I use it primarily as my Switch controller. So I picked up one of these. It does exactly the exact same thing that the Pro controller does. You know, I press home and it boots up the Switch. It wakes up the Switch. It's very comfortable on the grip. It's got the traditional cross pad instead of the 4 that are on the Joy-Cons. So this, when I'm on work and my breaks and I'm playing Super Mario Odyssey or something like that, I use this, and it's awesome. And obviously, when we had the Nintendo Direct back at the beginning of the month, we had the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance be added to the Nintendo Switch Online service, which is awesome. So I was playing Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, which is a trip down memory lane, and I still have that, like the original cartridge for that. So, but to play it on the service, like, just, you know, on a break, you know, because 15 minutes is not really a long time for a break. So and it's not really like I can get a lot done in like something that you're immersed in, like Final Fantasy. So playing something like Tetris or Super Mario Land or Super Mario Brothers or anything like that, you know, is welcome. But more so when you got a controller like that. So then what else did you pick up? Eventually this came in, this classic franchise, which I don't know if they make new games for them. Like, Konami has kind of dropped the ball with a lot of their classic franchises like Castlevania and Silent Hill. I don't know, I heard stuff about Silent Hill, but Contra Anniversary Collection. So you got quite a bit of good stuff. This is from the Run. Obviously, I pre-ordered this way back in June of 2022, but you know, I only got it like 8 months. What, 8 months later? At least it's not a year later. But it even includes, and yes, the Konami code does work for the original Contra on it. There's 8 titles on there, and there is obviously, you see there, that is the Konami code of up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. And if you do that, it will work. It will add 30 lives. It works for a couple of games actually in the Konami library, not just Contra. Like it works with Contra, it works with Super C. I think you get 10 extra lives in that one. In the original, you get 30. But this, it includes 8 titles. It includes Contra Arcade, Super Contra, Contra Japan. You get the Japanese versions of these games too. Super C, which is Super Contra. Contra 3, The Alien Wars, Operation C. Hardcores, which is for the Genesis. And obviously the censored European versions. Super Part Labor Alien Rebels, which is, I believe that's Contra 3. And then Probotector, which is, well, those 2 Probotector games are like, you know, the European versions of the Alien Wars, Contra 3, and Hardcore, which is the Genesis game. So there's that. And then lo and behold, we had our Nintendo Direct. We had a stealth drop. You know, we said that this game was having a limited release. Well, no, actually, it wasn't going to have a limited release, but it was available the same day as the Direct digitally, but a physical version would come later. And some YouTubers have made videos on this about them not being able to get their physical version of it, and that, you know, scalpers bought up all the stock and whatnot, and, you know, are starting to sell this thing for like double, triple, quadruple the amount on eBay and things like that. But I was one of the lucky ones that when it went live on Amazon, I pre-ordered it. Obviously, I got that message that it was going to be delayed until like early March, and I wouldn't get it till April. But then you take it with a grain of salt. Like, you know, if eventually they get it in, like, you don't cancel it, and it comes in, and I did get that notification. Metroid Prime Remastered for the Nintendo Switch, which is just playing through a little bit of the opening level on the space station has been really, really awesome. Just to see like the HD texture coated paint on it has been quite amazing. And me like trying to familiarize myself with the control scheme of that game, which was unique to the Nintendo GameCube at the time. And obviously that got re-released on the Metroid Prime Trilogy, which was released for the Wii, but obviously adapted to the motion controls. But if you prefer like a more traditional controller-based experience, you can play it this way, because the Metroid Prime Trilogy for the Nintendo Wii is actually pretty pricey, and I picked that up at the right time, right before Other M came out, before it kind of just skyrocketed. Now today we actually went to a video game swap in Guelph, Ontario, and I had the, there was a lot of stuff actually that I was interested in that was stuff that I played like via emulation, and kind of was cool to see that that a physical copy of it wasn't actually that expensive. But my primary goal was to pick up the last thing I needed for the excuse me, the Mortal Kombat series, because the reboot obviously happened in 2009 or 10 with Mortal Kombat, aka Mortal Kombat 9, which is a retelling of the first 3 games. But the first series ended with Armageddon, and then we had the spin-off of the Mortal Kombat vs. DC. But since I picked up Deception and Deadly Alliance, had to have the final crown jewel, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, for the Nintendo Wii. You see a theme here, like me trying to avoid Microsoft and Sony, if at all possible, because I just like the gameplay aspect of it. You know, like, I don't need to have, trophies are nice and whatnot. Like, I like Steam achievements, I like those. But the Sony and the Xbox, I'm not too sure of. But I was pretty content to pick up just Mortal Kombat Armageddon. But on my way out, I saw this there, and I was, how much is that? and because I don't see it very often. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch. So lo and behold, I don't have to like hunt for the Wii U version of it, because now I have the proper version of it, I guess, or as they say, the Definitive Edition. So that's the pickups video. That's what I picked up within the last 2 months, at least video game wise. There is going to be another one of these probably in March. I know, depending on how much stuff I pick up, there is going to be some figures coming next month that are supposed to ship, but who knows, like, because there is another gaming expo coming up in the middle of March around St. Patty's Day. Oh, St. Patty's Day. So, and it's a little bit bigger in terms of scale than the one we attended this afternoon. So some of the stuff that I decided to pass on just because I was content with those 2 items, I might be looking for at this next one. So one of them being Perfect Dark Zero. I was looking for that, but didn't seem to come across it. Actually, the Xbox 360 content was actually pretty low. Another thing I was looking for was Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast, which would be the first Soul Calibur, because the first game is Soul Blade, which you can find on PS1. And there was like substantial PlayStation 1, 2, and 3, and 4 content at this local swap, but not so much with the Sega stuff. Like, there was Genesis stuff and there was Master System stuff, but there was not very much Dreamcast on any of the tables I visited. So I've been looking to pick up Soul Calibur for the Dreamcast for quite some time. Street Fighter 3, I did not look for that specifically this time, but that comes to mind though. Street Fighter 3 for the Dreamcast. There's 2. There's Double Impact and there's Third Strike, I believe. And they are available on as part of the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, but I do want to have the originals. There's something about like just owning the originals, even though stuff does eventually get re-released. I did see Adventure Island 2 for the NES for about $45, just a cartridge. It's the only one I need. Like, I have 1 and 3. And speaking of Adventure Island, there was Super Adventure Island on the Super Nintendo. That one was there, and it was, I think, $30 for that. And it was in very good condition. That was one I was tempted to get. There was also World Heroes 2. It was in great condition, and it was $30. There was Spider-Man for the Super Nintendo, which was based off of the 1990s Fox cartoon. I know people give LJN a bad rap for making bad games, or at least in the NES days. But that one was there, and I was tempted to get that one because I really, really loved that game. It was $40. So I was like, do I really want it now? Do I want to spend all my money? Because I'm trying to, conserve and save stuff for what I really want. Well, Armageddon, I would have been content with just getting Armageddon. There was also Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. I found those at various tables, but in the range of $20, $25, which was pretty decent for that, considering it was complete and it's a more than 10-year-old game. So that might be higher up on the list to get. And then there was Knights. I did see Knights. The second one, Journey into Dreams for the Nintendo Wii. It was $15. I was really tempted. It was like the first thing I saw, like when we went into this show. But yeah, so those are some of the things I'm looking forward to pick up maybe in the next adventure towards a gaming expo type thing. And hopefully we'll have another pickups video for that kind of stuff. Because I know I do have one pre-ordered coming up, MLB The Show 23. But unfortunately I can't stream gameplay of that because I got a warning when I tried to do streaming of MLB The Show 22. And I don't want to go through that experience again because that just is like the day that the experience happens to you, you feel like quitting altogether on your YouTube channel. And I don't want to do that because as much as I hate, the policy changes with YouTube, you'll notice I didn't swear at all in this video, and this is like a 20-minute video. I don't even know what the criteria is. I just know that they're cracking down harder on the so-called mature level stuff. So whether that be profanity or whether that be actual gore and violence in games, I believe like RGT said it best in his video that you can't show like Doom, like footage from Doom. You have to put something else there because it has to be within like I think the first 8 seconds or 8 minutes. I don't know, but 8 seems to be a popular number. The Chinese are number 8, but you know, I think it's only if you pass the 10-minute mark, then you can actually go a little bit more mature, if you will. But as me, I just used to just open up and drop the F-bomb up off the gate, out of the gate, you know. So, but you know, as much as I used to swear on old videos, this channel is not big enough for me to like be hit with that kind of thing because it's just got a very, very small niche following. Like I did gain another subscriber not too long ago, and thank you for that. That was also the inspiration. She was also the inspiration for me for making up these booty videos. So anyway, that is my first ever pickups booty video, gaming edition, for January and February of 2023. So hopefully there will be another pickups video for gaming stuff, and maybe there'll be some other stuff. Anime not so much lately because anime is just so bloody expensive. At least some of the stuff like I've been wanting has like gone up in price. Inflation is just really bad. Like I'm just trying to find some alternative to get some of the stuff I really know I want. And this stuff only came out like a few months ago, which boggles the mind that it's like that expensive. Like over $100 for a 12-episode anime series. That's just insane. Insane to say the least. So sometimes maybe it pays to go out and to the conventions to see like what the pricing on some of this stuff is. I should start making a list for Anime North of some stuff I want to get, like title wise. But yeah, that's the pickups video, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves. Stay beautifully imperfect out there. Take care of yourselves and each other. Be kind to yourselves and each other. And y'all, keep up the awesomeness. We'll see you soon. Streaming will probably come back when I pick up a copy of the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster for the Switch, and then we'll stream the whole entire series. Anyways, take care, friends. Have yourselves a good one. Take care.